She lost her restaurant, her savings, and 7 years of her life for feeding a dying stranger. He lost his mind searching for her. Now the Dragon of Soul is about to remind her why kindness is the most dangerous weapon of all. Before we begin, comment below. Would you risk everything to save a stranger? Let's see who the real ones are. Now, let's dive in. Chan Wu didn't look at the Seoul skyline from his penthouse. He stared at a blood-stained napkin encased in glass on his desk, a museum piece worth more than the building itself. Scribbled in shaky handwriting, "Stay alive, someone needs you. V. 7 years, 2,557 days. He'd counted every single one. His Lieutenant Jae Sung entered, tablet in hand. "Sir, the Hong Kong investors are waiting. The merger... Find Victoria Hayes." Chan Wu's voice was ice. "Now." Jae Sung paled. They'd been searching for 6 months. "Sir, the trail went cold after the fire. She's disappeared." Chan Wu stood, his 6-foot frame, casting shadows across marble floors. At 33, he was Seoul's most feared man, the dragon who'd unified 5 syndicates through strategy and ruthlessness. But right now his hands trembled, touching that napkin. "I don't care if you have to burn this city down. Find her." The memory crashed over him like a tsunami. 7 years ago, he wasn't the dragon. He was meat. Beaten, broken, dumped in an alley by the very syndicate he now controlled. They'd shattered his ribs for refusing to execute a teenager. He'd been dying in the rain when an angel found him. No, not an angel, a woman. A black woman with gentle hands and a voice that pulled him from death's door. "I've got you. Stay with me." She'd hidden him for 3 days, fed him, saved him, lost everything because of him. The men who'd beaten him had found out. They'd burned her restaurant to ash. Chan Wu had spent 7 years clawing his way to the top with one singular purpose: find Victoria, protect her, give her a protect kingdom. His phone buzzed. Jae Sung's voice cracked. "Sir, we found her." Chan Wu's heart stopped. "Where?" "Gangnam. She's working night shifts at a convenience store." The Dragon of Soul smiled. Terrifying, lethal, loving. "Prepare the cars. It's time to bring my queen home." 7 years ago, Victoria's soul food kitchen smelled like home. Fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread that made Koreans cry with joy. She'd built it from nothing after her grandmother died. Every recipe a prayer, every customer a blessing. 2 a.m. She was mopping floors when she heard the groan outside. Most people in Itaewon knew better than to investigate alley sounds, but Victoria's grandmother had raised her different. "Baby girl, angels sometimes look like trouble. Feed them anyway." What she found wasn't an angel. It was a man drowning in his own blood, face destroyed, body broken like discarded trash. She should have called police, should have walked away. Instead, Victoria dragged him inside. For 3 days, she hid him in her storage room, cleaned wounds that should have killed him, spooned broth into his swollen mouth. Her best friend Maya screamed, "Girl, those tattoos? He's Yakuza. They'll kill you." "Then they kill me," Victoria whispered, wrapping his broken ribs. "But I won't let him die alone." On the 3rd night, he finally spoke, voice ruined. "Why?" Victoria smiled, exhausted. She'd lost a week's revenue hiding him. "My grandmother said we're all one bad day from needing mercy. Today, you're having that bad day." She wrote on a napkin, tucked it in his jacket. "Stay alive. Someone needs you. V." When he could walk, he stood in her doorway. No money, no name, no future. But his eyes held something that made her breath catch. "I'll come back," he whispered. "When I'm powerful enough to protect you, I'll make you my queen." Victoria laughed. Sad, sweet. "Baby, just survive. That's enough." He disappeared into Seoul's darkness. 3 days later, her restaurant burned. Everything. Grandmother's recipes, her father's legacy, her entire world turned to ash. The men who beat him had found out she'd saved their target. Kindness had cost her everything. Present day Victoria's hands trembled as she scanned the ramen package. 3 a.m. shift at GS25 convenience store, Gangnam. Her third job today. The fluorescent lights made her look ghostly in the security mirror. 32 years old, but feeling ancient. 7 years since the fire. 7 years of sleeping in shelters, then roach motels, then finally a basement room she could barely afford. The insurance company had called it arson, blamed her, blacklisted, investigated, destroyed. She'd lost everything: her business, her reputation, her will to dream. Now she served drunk salarymen buying cigarettes, cleaned office buildings at dawn, and tried not to remember when she'd owned something, been somebody. Ajuma, this is expired. A businessman slammed a yogurt on counter. Victoria bowed, apologized, smiled the smile of the invisible. When her shift ended at 6 a.m., she walked through Gangnam, a neighborhood where her old restaurant would have thrived. Now she was just another shadow among the wealthy. She didn't see the black Mercedes following her. Didn't notice the men photographing her worn shoes, her tired face, the way she counted coins for subway fare. Inside that Mercedes, Chan Woo stared at the surveillance photos, his heart shattering. This is what his salvation had cost her. His angel was broken, working herself to death in a city that had erased her. Jae-sung whispered, "Sir, what are your orders?" Chan Woo's voice was deadly quiet. "Find everyone responsible for that fire, every inspector who denied her claim, every person who destroyed her. And then? Then we rebuild her world." Chan Woo's eyes burned. "But first, I need to remind Seoul who owns this city." He stepped out of the car, straightening his Tom Ford suit. It's time Victoria remembered. That stranger she saved. What would you do if someone you helped once came back with ultimate power? Comment below. Victoria was walking home when she noticed them. 3 men, same builds as the ones who'd burned her restaurant 7 years ago. Her blood froze. They started following her. She ran. They cornered her in an alley, poetic how life circles back. The leader grabbed her hair, slammed her against the brick wall. "Remember us? We've got unfinished business, sweetheart." Victoria closed her eyes, ready for the end. Then a voice like thunder. "Remove your hand." 20 men in black suits materialized, surrounding the alley. And walking through them like a king through his army was a man in a suit that cost more than her entire year's wages. Chan Woo. But Victoria didn't recognize him. This wasn't the broken boy she'd saved. This was power incarnate. Terrifying, beautiful, lethal. Her attackers recognized him, though. They dropped to their knees, faces white with terror. "Mr. Beck, we didn't know she was on your knees." Chan Woo didn't yell. He didn't need to. They prostrated themselves. Chan Woo walked past them like they were dirt, his entire focus on the woman trembling against the wall. When he got close, their eyes met. Victoria gasped. Those eyes. She'd seen those eyes before, filled with pain and gratitude, 7 years ago in her storage room. "You," she whispered. You're alive." Chan Woo smiled. Devastating, tender, deadly. "You told me to stay alive." He reached out, gently touching her cheek. "I obeyed my queen." Behind him, Jae-sung was already on the phone. "Yes, execute the blacklist. Liquidate their assets. I want their families begging by morning." Chan Woo never broke eye contact with Victoria. "I came back, just like I promised." Victoria's knees gave out. He caught her, lifting her like she weighed nothing. "Let's go home," he whispered. "Your throne is waiting." The penthouse was a glass palace overlooking Seoul, the very city that had chewed her up and spit her out. Victoria stood frozen in the entrance, overwhelmed. Chan Wu watched her, memorizing every expression. "This is yours," he said softly. "Everything I built, it's all yours." I don't, I don't understand. Victoria's voice cracked. "Why? I just gave you soup, hidden you for 3 days. Why would you, why would I spend 7 years building an empire for the woman who saved my life?" Chanwu stepped closer. "Victoria, you didn't just give me soup. You gave me humanity when the world treated me like garbage." He pulled out his phone, showing her documents. "Your restaurant, I bought the land. It's in your name. The insurance company that denied your claim, bankrupt as of this morning. Every inspector who took bribes, arrested. The men who burned your kitchen." His eyes went cold. "They're learning what happens when you touch what belongs to the dragon." Victoria's hands shook. This is insane. S- You're talking about revenge, about justice, Chan Wu interrupted. "I'm talking about justice and rebuilding what they destroyed." He showed her blueprints. "Your restaurant. Bigger, better, but only if you want it." Tears streamed down Victoria's face. "I lost everything because of you." "I know." Chan Wu's voice broke. "And I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you gain everything because of me." He knelt. The dragon of soul, the man who made politicians tremble, knelt before her. "I'm not asking you to love me. I'm not even asking you to forgive me. I'm asking you to let me serve you. Let me be your sword, your shield, your kingdom." Victoria looked at this impossible man offering her an impossible dream. "Get up," she whispered. "Kings don't kneel." "Queens make the rules." Chan Wu smiled. "Teach me yours." 3 months later, Victoria stood in her new restaurant, Victoria's Legacy, and cried. It was magnificent. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a kitchen her grandmother would have wept over, customers lined up around the block. Korean food critics who'd once ignored her now begged for reservations. But it wasn't the restaurant that changed her. It was him. Chan Wu came every night at 9 p.m., never demanded her time, just sat in the corner booth, eating whatever she made, watching her like she was his religion. "Why do you keep coming?" she asked one night, sliding into his booth. "Because watching you happy is the only peace I've ever known," he said simply. He told her everything, how he'd been sold to the syndicate by his own father at age 12, raised as a weapon, taught that mercy was weakness, until she showed him different. "The night you saved me," Chan Wu's voice roughened. "I'd been beaten for refusing to kill a kid, 16 years old. They ordered me to execute him for stealing. I said no. So they destroyed me." Victoria's hand found his across the table. "You proved I was right," he continued. "That mercy isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing we've got." He showed her his empire, not the violence, but the protection. Orphanages he funded, women's shelters, programs for trafficked children. "I built power so I could protect the powerless, because of you." Victoria saw him then, really saw him. Not the dragon, not the monster Soul feared, but the broken boy she'd saved, who'd grown into a man trying to save everyone else. "Chan Wu," she whispered, "I'm scared." "Of me? Of how much I'm starting to care?" He smiled, vulnerable, hopeful, terrified. Then we're both scared together. He kissed her hand. "Take your time. I've waited 7 years. I can wait forever." Have you ever been afraid to love someone because of what you might lose? Share below. The attack came on a Tuesday. Victoria was closing the restaurant when the bomb threat arrived. A voice on the phone, cold and mechanical. "The dragon's weakness has a name. Goodbye, Victoria." Chan Wu's enemies had found his soft spot. Within minutes, 20 armed men surrounded her restaurant. Chan Wu burst through the door, wild-eyed, terrified, the first time she'd seen him truly afraid. "Get away from the windows," he shouted, pulling her down as gunfire shattered the glass. They huddled in the kitchen as his men returned fire outside. Victoria was shaking, traumatized. This. This was the world he lived in. Violence. Blood. Death. I can't, she gasped. Chanwoo, I can't live like this. I can't. I know. His voice was broken. I know, and I'm sorry. God, Victoria, I'm so sorry. When the shooting stopped, 7 men lay dead outside. Chanwoo's enemies. But also the illusion Victoria had built, that she could love him without entering his war. You need to leave, Chanwoo said, not looking at her. I'll set you up anywhere. New identity, protection. But you can't be near me. I'm poison. Don't. Look at what I've done. Chanwoo's composure shattered. I brought war to your door. Again. 7 years ago I destroyed your life. Tonight I almost got you killed. Everyone I touch turns to ash. Victoria stood frozen as he walked away. My men will protect you, he said from the doorway. But I won't come back. You deserve peace, and I'm anything but. He left, the dragon disappearing into the night. Victoria stood in her destroyed restaurant, glass everywhere, bullet holes in her grandmother's legacy, and realized something terrifying. She'd rather have him and his war than peace without him. But he was gone. For 2 weeks, Chanwoo disappeared. His men protected Victoria from shadows, but he stayed away. Punishment he believed he deserved. Victoria rebuilt her restaurant. Again, stronger glass, better security. But every night at 9 p.m. she set a plate in the corner booth. His booth, and every night it went cold and uneaten. Maya visited. Girl, let him go. He's dangerous. He's mine, Victoria said simply. She'd made her choice. The world had taught her that kindness was weakness, that helping others got you burned. But Chanwoo had taught her different. That kindness could build empires. That love was worth the war. She found him in an abandoned church, the same place he'd refused to burn 15 years ago, the choice that had started everything. He was kneeling before the altar, rosary in his scarred hands, praying for her safety. You're a terrible listener, Victoria said from the doorway. Chanwoo spun around, shock on his face. Victoria, what are you? You can't be here. If they find you, let them come. She walked down the aisle like a bride approaching her groom. I'm not running anymore from you, from your world, from this. You don't understand what you're saying. You're the man I saved. The man who spent 7 years keeping a bloody napkin like a sacred relic. The man who built an empire just to give me back what I lost. She reached him, cupping his face. You're the man I love. Even with the war. Because of the war. Chanwoo's breath caught. I'll destroy you. Then we'll rebuild. Together, like we always do. Victoria? Shut up and kiss me, dragon. He did. Desperate, reverent, complete. When they broke apart, he whispered, Marry me. I thought you'd never ask. 1 year later. The wedding wasn't traditional. It was held in Victoria's restaurant. Rebuilt 3 times, now a fortress of love and bulletproof glass. Victoria wore white and gold, a queen in every sense. Chanwoo wore traditional Korean hanbok, the dragon finally at peace. Seoul's underworld bosses sat beside church pastors, gangsters beside grandmothers. Maya stood as maid of honor, still shaking her head. Girl married a whole Mafia king. I can't even get a text back. But it was the vows that broke everyone. Victoria? Chanwoo's voice carried through the room. 7 years ago, you saved a stranger. You lost everything. And somehow you taught me that losing everything was the only way to gain what matters. He held up that blood-stained napkin, now framed in gold. This is my most valuable possession, not because of what it says, but because of who wrote it. You saw a human being when the world saw garbage. You fed me, hid me, loved me before I deserved it. Tears streamed down his face. I built an empire to be worthy of you. But the truth is, I'll never be worthy. I can only promise to spend every day trying. Victoria smiled through her own tears. Baby, you were always worthy. You just needed someone to show you. They kissed as husband and wife, the dragon and his queen. The restaurant thrived. They opened 10 more locations, each one hiring the forgotten, the broken, the one society discarded. And every night at 9 p.m., Chan Wu sat in that corner booth, watching his wife work, remembering the woman who taught him that mercy wasn't weakness. It was the strongest thing in the world.